Hi everyone, I'm Paul Klein, Principal of the Ulster Orchestra. I'd like to talk to you today about my musical beginnings, where I started. Where am I at the moment? Well, playing French horn in your Ulster Orchestra, but it hasn't always been the case. I started as a 10-year-old growing up in Glasgow, going to my local high school, Shawlands Academy, and being in the music department for the very first time, looking round the walls with all the glorious posters with all the beautiful instruments on them, and being asked the question, if you were given the opportunity, should I say, to play a musical instrument, what musical instrument would you choose? So I scanned the walls and landed on the brass family, and there was one instrument in particular that really stood out that I thought, wow, that looks amazing, I want to learn that instrument. So while I play my first piece for you, have a think about what that instrument maybe was. Well, any guesses? It was in fact the tuba. I took one look at this giant instrument on the wall and thought, wow, that looks amazing, I want to play that instrument. Well, I went to see the brass instructor the following week, and he took one look at this young Paul Klein, 10 years old, and thought, no son, you're not learning the tuba. I could barely put my arms around it, never mind, I could barely lift it, put my arms around it, I could probably have slept inside the bell. So that was a non-starter. So instead he handed me a trumpet. He taught me the basics of buzzing. Still trying to get hang of that. And sent me on my way with a finger chart for a C major scale and said, come back next week and let me see how you get on. Well, I returned the following week and I'd been practicing really hard, diligently. Now back in those days we didn't have Google. I couldn't look up a how-to video on Google on how to play a C major scale, so I kind of just had to create the sound in my head of what I thought it was, and I think it probably, in my head, it sounded like this. But in reality I think it probably sounded more like this. Wasn't good. It wasn't a good start to my trumpet playing career. So he swiftly removed the trumpet from my hands before I could do any more damage and replaced the trumpet with an instrument sitting behind me on the table. And this was the instrument that was to kick off my career in music unbeknownst to me at that time. It was in fact the E-flat tenor horn. This is the instrument that I then ended up with and stuck with for the first 6 years. So this is my son's tenor horn. He's following in his father's footsteps. I was 10 when I started. My son Fraser was 7 or 8 when he started, so he's got a bit of a head start on me. He's currently doing his grade 3 on the tenor horn. I think I managed grade 5. It's the only grade I ever did on a brass instrument, grade 5. So grade 5 is all I've got. But this is the tenor horn. This is the instrument I started on, not the actual instrument. Like I said, this is my son's instrument. So he's very kindly allowed me to play on it. So I would like to go back in time to my childhood and play some pieces for you. This is a famous tune by Lennon and McCartney. I'm sure it needs no introduction. Excuse me while I get rid of my condensation. It's not spit, it's condensation. I hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and gaining a little bit more of an insight into how I got started as a youngster in music. I'm going to finish up now with a tune that has become popular over the last few weeks during lockdown. On a Thursday night at 8 o'clock, musicians have been asked to play this particular piece when everyone else is clapping for the NHS. This is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Thank you very much and stay safe.